At 12:38 a.m., 26-year-old Brandon Lawson called 911 from a dark stretch of highway in West Texas. His voice was frantic. He told the dispatcher someone was chasing him. He said he was bleeding. Minutes later, the call went silent. Brandon Lawson was never seen alive again. This is the disappearance of Brandon Lawson. Brandon Lawson was a father, a brother, and a boyfriend. He lived in San Angelo, Texas, and was known by those close to him as loyal and dependable. Brandon worked construction, stayed in touch with his family, and was actively involved in his young daughter's life. Like many people, Brandon had struggled at times. He had dealt with substance issues in the past, but by all accounts he was trying to stabilize his life. He had plans for the next day. He had responsibilities waiting for him. This was not a man preparing to disappear. On the night of August 8, 2013, Brandon got into an argument with his girlfriend. Shortly after midnight, he left their home and began driving south on U.S. Route 277. Sometime after 12:30 a.m., Brandon's truck ran out of gas near the small town of Bronte, Texas. Stranded in the darkness, he called his younger brother Kyle. Brandon told Kyle he was bleeding and that someone was chasing him. Kyle immediately got into his own truck and began driving toward Brandon's location while staying on the phone. As Kyle drove, he could hear Brandon breathing heavily, moving through rough terrain, and speaking in short, panicked bursts. At one point, Brandon said he could see Kyle's headlights. Kyle, however, could not see Brandon. Then suddenly, Brandon stopped responding. The line remained open. Kyle called out his brother's name again and again. There was no answer. Around the same time, Brandon made a separate call to 911. The call was confusing and fragmented. Brandon told the dispatcher that people were chasing him. At one point, he mentioned Mexicans, a detail that has been widely debated, whether it reflected an actual encounter or a state of fear and confusion. The dispatcher struggled to understand Brandon's location. Brandon's speech became increasingly erratic. Then the call ended. Emergency services arrived at the area shortly afterward, but Brandon was nowhere to be found. His truck sat abandoned along the highway. His phone was gone. There were no clear footprints. No blood, no signs of a struggle. Extensive searches were launched in the days and weeks that followed. Law enforcement, volunteers, dogs, and helicopters combed the surrounding ranch land, fields, and waterways. Nothing was found. For years, Brandon Lawson remained a missing person. His case debated endlessly online, fueled by the haunting final phone calls. Then, in 2019, partial human remains were discovered roughly a mile from where Brandon's truck had been abandoned. In early 2022, DNA testing confirmed the remains belonged to Brandon Lawson. The cause of death was never determined. Several theories attempt to explain what happened that night. One possibility is drug-induced paranoia, leading Brandon to flee into dangerous terrain and suffer a fatal accident. Another theory suggests Brandon may have fallen into a ravine, been injured, or succumbed to exposure. Some believe Brandon truly encountered another person or group, though no evidence has ever confirmed this. Each theory explains part of the story. None explain everything. What makes Brandon Lawson's case so unsettling is that he reached out for help. He made the calls. He believed someone was coming. And yet, Whatever happened in the darkness that night ended before anyone could reach him. Brandon Lawson vanished while still on the line. And even now, the final moments of his life remain unanswered. If you're drawn to unresolved cases like this one, consider subscribing to Midnight Case Files Investigates. It helps these stories reach more people and keeps the search for answers alive. Because some stories don't end, they wait.